Gentlemen, I'm the master of the list. You will obey my command. You will halt when I say halt. Is that understood? Fighters, are you ready?
Ready.
Lay on.
Get up.
Nothing done. Good. Is that a double or? Like Sir Edward has got a cut on Inquisitor Chris. Point for Sir Edward. Huzzah! Fighters, you ready?
Chris, you got
Lay
it.
on.
Yeah, no, that's literally what they would do in Maryland. They would literally do that. Yeah.
Nothing done. Good.
Well, yeah,
Like
mine was late, so yes, good to play.
Inquisitor Chris has scored a cut on the leg of Sir Edward. Point to Inquisitor Chris. Huzzah! The point stands at 1-1. Gentlemen, you ready?
Ready.
Fight. Good. Sir Edward scored a cut on the arm of Inquisitor Chris. Second point to Sir Edward. Huzzah! Fighters, you ready? Stay on. Whoa. Disarm.
It's a disarm.
Disarm. Inquisitor Chris disarmed Sir Edward. Second point to Inquisitor Chris. Huzzah! The score now stands 2-2. Sudden death. Next point wins, gentlemen.
Bring out the sharps.
Bring out the sharps. We're still in the first weekend. Fighters, you ready?
Ready.
Last point, lay on. Good. Double? Double kill, no points awarded. Remember, gentlemen, don't die.
Don't die. Right.
Fighters, you ready?
Ready.
Fight. Good. Thrust.
Good. Package.
Sir Edward scored the third and final point on Inquisitor Chris. Match point to Sir Edward. Huzzah!
That's a good fight, man.
All right. Gentlemen, I am the master of the list. We are going to 3 points. If I call a halt, you will halt. Do you understand? All right, gentlemen, stand you ready and take your guards. Lay on. Yep. Cut to the arm. Oh, did it hit the mask? Okay, cut to the mask. All right, very good. I'm going to say that the first one was light, and we're going to count that second strike over in this direction. So that is 1 point for Wheeler. Huzzah! Huzzah! Score stands at 0-1. Gentlemen, stand you ready. Lay on. Good cut to the torso. The initial attacks were parried, but then there was that follow through to the torso. That's 1 point. Robert the Brute. Huzzah! Score stands at 1-1. Gentlemen, stand you ready and lay on. Cut to the arm. So that is a second point for Lord Wheeler. Huzzah! Score stands at 1-2. Gentlemen, stand you ready and lay on. Good. Cut to the arm. That is a believe third point and match to Lord Wheeler. Huzzah! Let's go, fighters. All right. Yes, these gentlemen are the ones who are crazy enough to say, hey, look, it's a nice hot summer day. Let's put on our winter coats and go outside and hit each other. All right, here we are. Gentlemen, I am the master of the list. We are going to 3 points, and if I call a halt, you will halt. Do you understand? All right, gentlemen, stand you ready. Lay on. It looked like, here, pause for a moment as he gets his gauntlet put back together. It looked like there was a little bit of a strike to the head, but it was mostly with the spike rather than the hammer itself, so that was not a point. His gauntlet just simply started to come apart a little bit. For safety reasons, we have to make sure that we keep an eye on such things. So, gentlemen, stand you ready. Score still stands at 0-0. Lay on.
My baby there.
Strike to the head. Halt. All right, point for Lord Ryan. Huzzah! Score stands at 1-0. Gentlemen, stand you ready. Lay on. Strike to the head. Halt. Halt. There was a strike to the head. That is 1 point for Sir Chris. Huzzah! Score stands at 1-1. Gentlemen, stand you ready. And lay on. There's a glance. No purchase. That first strike looked like it may have gone in. I didn't see which, I don't remember which side. Is there a plate right there? Let me see how high this comes. Okay, there's leather right there. So, all right, I'm going to say that it wasn't quite enough good body mechanics in order to pierce through that. It was above the plate, but not good enough body mechanics to pierce through the hard leather underneath. So no points scored. All right, gentlemen, square up. Yep, one more step up the hill, please. All right, gentlemen, stand you ready. Score stands at 1-1. Lay on. Straight to the head. Second point for Sir Curtis. Huzzah! Score stands at 1-2. Gentlemen, stand you ready. Lay on. Butt spike. What is it? Let me hold on. Halt. I'm going to see how far your armor comes up. That was not high enough. Not high enough. We're not going to score that. All right, gentlemen, square up. Score is 1-2. Let's take one more step uphill, please. All right, gentlemen, lay on. Glancing, no. That looked like a solid blow with the axe to the side of the head. That is third point in match for Sir Chris. Huzzah! Let's hear it for these fighters. Wearing their 50 to 100 pounds of solar oven out here in the sun. Lord Murdoch, the mismatch, has challenged a man in full armor from head to toe, using nothing but the long sword. May God have mercy on his soul. All right, gentlemen. Yes, for the children. For the children. Gentlemen, I am the master of the list. I call a halt. You will halt. Do you understand? We are going to 3 points. And as usual, targets against the armor must be in the gaps. However, the counterattacks, as he is not wearing any armor, can strike anywhere upon his body to score a point. Murdoch the Mad has accepted this challenge. All right, gentlemen, stand you ready. Lay on. Miss. Cut. That is 1 point for Lord Matthew. Huzzah! Murdoch the Mediocre was unable to land a blow before taking a cut to the torso. Okay, Murdoch the Magnanimous. All right. Gentlemen, stand you ready. The score stands at 1-0. Lay on. Good, halt. I want to see, I'm going to check. No, you were still on the plate, I'm sorry. Let's come downfield a little bit. Score still stands at 1-0. All right, gentlemen, sit. Lay on. Cut to the leg and then follow through to the face. That is a second point for Lord Matthew. Huzzah! They're cheering and they're booing. Okay, that sounds appropriate. Hey, gentlemen, I think Murdoch, the magnanimous, would like a little bit more cheering. Can we hear some more cheering? All right. Now, this is now Murdoch the motivated. All right, gentlemen, stand you ready. Score stands at 2-0. Lord Matthew has elected to go to a dagger. Daggers for the children. All right, gentlemen, stand you ready. Lay on. Good. There were some deflected stabs against Murdoch at the beginning there, but it was unclear if those would have scored a point. In this case, however, Murdoch has gone for a takedown and tried to get the dagger into the gaps of the armor while Lord Matthew was on the ground. So I'm going to give this a point to Murdoch the Massive. It was worth it for the extra drama. Score stands at 2-1. We're going to take just a moment for him to get his gloves back on, as those, well, you know, as they say, the gloves have come off. That's right, full-on yard sale. As we get them re-equipped, we can go on to the final points. As you can see, this sort of combat with mismatched armor is actually quite difficult. There's very little that he can do to get past the armor without being struck himself under these circumstances. We have his weapon. I guess he wants his sword back for the last point. I can't say I blame him. He felt a bit generous with using the dagger, so we could give him the bullets, that's true. All right, gentlemen, stand you ready. Play on.
He just didn't make it.
Cut to the chest. That is a third point for Lord Matthew. Huzzah! Murdoch, the muddy, after taking his fall into the ground, has lost this battle with the final cut being straight across his torso. A brutal way to end this fight. Let's hear it for our fighters! And let's hear it for Murdoch for taking on impossible odds. Very, very good. All right.